Welcome to the Illinois Fire Service Institute, home of IFSI research. I'm Richard Kessler. As firefighters, we accept some level of risk of exposure and contamination in our daily operations. On EMS calls, it's bloodborne pathogens, and on the Fireground, it's byproducts of combustion. There's a lot of great work going on right now in the fire service, focusing on contamination control. From manufacturers designing and developing new gear and equipment, to researchers focusing on when and how we should wash our PPE. But what we want to talk about are a few quick steps you can take now while doffing your PPE to significantly reduce your exposure to contaminated gear. Here, we're looking at cross-contamination from the gloves. These are suggested measures that should be implemented when possible, but realizing that staffing and conditions may not always make them feasible. To simulate Fireground exposure, we are using a chalk-based powder. The contaminant is applied to the firefighter's gloves, hood, and helmet. Once exposed, the firefighter exits the structure and begins to doff his gear. First, the firefighter removes his gear in the typical way, removing his gloves, then his helmet. When he grabs the exterior of the gloves, his hands are exposed through cross-contamination. To reduce the secondary exposure, the firefighter could have someone assist him in removing his PPE. This could be EMS personnel, a rehab officer, or even the engineer. He then wears nitrile gloves while the assistant helps remove the rest of his contaminated gear. This is the best way to reduce exposure. If staffing or conditions don't allow for someone to assist the firefighter, he can remove his PPE as he would medical gloves, by taking care not to touch the contaminated exterior. He removes his helmet first, then his gloves, minimizing cross-contamination. The firefighter then removes the rest of his PPE while wearing nitrile gloves to further limit exposure. In this real-world example, both firefighters completed the same job assignment under the same conditions. The difference? The firefighter on the left removed his own gloves, while the firefighter on the right had help. With this simple change, we can reduce our exposure to contaminated gear without significantly impacting firefighting operations. Thanks for watching and stay safe.